Coach Bob Saleh joins him every single week. And there was one clip, I think, that got taken a little bit out of context, whenever he basically said he pleads the fifth whenever they asked him how come he didn't put Trevor Siemian in over Zach Wilson with all Zach Wilson's failures. Obviously, anytime something like that is said, it's like, oh, Saleh's burying Zach Wilson, doing this whole thing. But I think what is getting taken out of context on the internet, which the internet is very good at. I've fallen victim to this a couple times. We all have with certain statements is he had basically talked about the entire thing for like 3 minutes beforehand. Then he got a follow-up question pretty much about Trevor Siemian taking, and then he pled the fifth, kind of reiterating what he had said. Now, this is a 3-minute clip. It's a long one, but I think it needs to be heard to fully understand that Bob Saleh wasn't throwing Zach Wilson under the bus. Bob Saleh just understands why they're questioning what they're questioning, and he was just trying to get to the next one. Here's Robert Saleh talking about the condition of the quarterbacks for the New York Jets.
I ask you this with total respect. You come on the show, you don't have to, so I hope you don't take this in a bad vein. I personally don't think Zach can play at this level for a team that has a defense like this. And you just said a couple of questions ago, our offense has been troubling for 3 years. Well, I mean, that's the one constant. Why are you guys so dead set on sticking with Zach Wilson when he has not been able to do it? What are you seeing that a neophyte like me is not seeing, Coach? I don't get it.
No, that's a fair question. A very fair question. But, it's easy. The three people who get drilled in losses as the quarterback, the play caller, and the head coach. That's natural territory. It's our job to go back and look at the tape and to figure out the actual reasons why. The all-22 that says everything. And that's why I think you see some analysts turn on the tape and like, well, geez, the kid really didn't play that bad, and it's and you turn on the tape and are there things that Zach needed to do better yesterday? 100%. He knows it. We know it. Everyone knows it. But are there areas of the field where we could have been better for him as a play caller? Sure. Are there areas on the field where we could have been better as position coaches, putting our players in position? Yes. Could the players have been better from an execution standpoint, catching the ball, blocking, running the right routes, being more efficient in the run game? Absolutely. So it's if this was, and sometimes it's very obvious when you turn on the all-22 that the quarterback is just incapable, but it's not the case here, and there are so many things that everybody needs to get better at, including the quarterback. And I think that's, it's what, I don't know, hopefully I'm answering your question, but it's not always as easy as, like I said, the three heads that get rocked the most in the losses, starting with me, then the play caller, then the quarterback. It's just, that's all natural.
But 3 years, Robert, you've had different offensive coordinators before the change to Hackett this year, and you've had different weapons around him, and the one constant is Zach, and the one constant is last year he couldn't start over Mike White. So, first of all, this shouldn't be litigated now. I never understood with a 39-year-old quarterback why a guy who couldn't start last year was the first line of defense if he went down. You've got Trevor Siemian in your building. Why not give him a try?
And here's
I got you. No, it's again a fair question. And it's like I said, he I don't know. You got me. I'm gonna plead the fifth on all this one in terms of just. I've kind of explained it, respectfully, obviously, but it's they're valid questions, Bud, and I know from a passionate fan, from fans who are passionate, all having the same questions. I respect it greatly. But I've got to look at it from a global standpoint and just see where we are and look at the all-22 the best I can and make the decisions best as possible.
So obviously he didn't necessarily sing the praises of Zach Wilson, but a few times in there he did. And I think he went to bat for his quarterback. Mm-hmm. But I do appreciate that Michael Kay show was like, why aren't we trying anything else? And I think what he was trying to say from a global standpoint is like, I think we know what Trevor Siemian's max is. Yeah. We don't know what Zach's is. Now, 3 years into this thing, I think people were about sick of hearing about what his potential is. what his capability is. But I do appreciate the fact that the internet kind of said he pleaded the fifth in this entire thing, which is good. And then I assume the Jets had to answer questions about it. But he stuck up for him a little bit in there. And he said, yeah, he missed a couple throws. Everybody could have done things differently. He said, guys running the wrong routes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What missed throw potentially was a wrong route that we could have never guessed that we throw on Zach Wilson as opposed to everybody else. I appreciate Bob Saleh kind of going to bat, but also understanding the self-awareness of the whole situation.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of drops too, but it's tough because they're really in like a no-win situation. Because you mentioned with like Simeon, like they know what he can do. Like I don't think if you put Simeon in, all of a sudden this team's going to start scoring 35 points a week. Like it could happen, I suppose, but probably not. But like if they bench Zach Wilson at this point,
over,
and they've already, but yeah, like his career in New York is absolutely over, and they are still in that window where it's like, hey, we just can't have him be the worst guy on the field. He just needs to do whatever he can to. And I don't necessarily think he was against the Chargers. It just, they lost a couple fumbles early and things kind of started to steamroll. But if they are playing to get Rodgers back potentially at the end of the year with, the playoffs still on the line maybe, I don't know if going to Trevor Siemian over Zach Wilson is like the Band-Aid that's kind of going to get them to that point.
I mean, I think fans are saying, why not? Why not just give it a try? We had Streveler last year. We had Zach. We had Mike White. We had Flacco, I think, at points in the last couple of years. Yeah. It's like, can we just try something different? And I think whenever he says global view, he's bringing up the point that you're bringing up. Like, if you pull Zach Wilson right now, it's over forever.
Yeah.
Now, Jets fans are probably at that point. Like, we're okay with it being over forever. But are the Jets organization, maybe not Saleh, who drafted him, what, 2?
2, yep.
Number 2 overall in this entire thing. And he was supposed to learn from Aaron. Then Aaron was supposed to pass the torch. So then the draft pick was still good. It's just, I don't know how they figure it out. But I do know if that Achilles comes back to health by the end of this season and they're still in it, what an absurd story that'll be talked about. But if they end up not being able to remain in it enough, and Zach Wilson is the reason why.
Yeah.
So not only do you steal the Aaron Rodgers comment, you steal the year and you waste another trying to figure out with Zach Wilson, it's only going to get louder. I hope they figure it out.